We're here at Guanella Pass Campground this weekend. We're going to be sitting at about 11,000 feet. Y'all come go with us. You know, it seems like it's been forever since we've been able to get the camper out, and I keep saying we, but her is still down in Texas. She's been there for a couple of weeks now dealing with the family issues, and I go down there next week and I'll be down there for several weeks. So this summer has really not turned out exactly how we had it planned, but you know, family comes first and you deal with what you got to deal with and you can play later. But man, this place, this is, like I said a minute ago, this is Guanella, however you pronounce it, Pass. The actual pass is about 2 miles up the hill right here, and it sits at, I think, 11,600 or 700 feet. This campground sits at 11,000. Now, I looked at the weather for this weekend. It's going to be 30 degrees in the morning. This is August 1st, guys. I mean, for real. Yesterday it was 27. My goodness. But man, this place is just awesome. We're going to look around a little bit. There's a trail right up the road. I don't know if I'm going to have time to really go for a long hike. It's like a 6-mile hike. Don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but at least I'm out this weekend. I'm in the woods, and what a beautiful campground. Other than that, I'm going to get set up, and man, the mosquitoes are they're horrible. You know, last year we camped at 11,000 feet about this time, and mosquitoes were horrible. My goodness. Anyway, I need to get set up and get this rolling. All right, so we got everything set up here. I was kind of wanting to show you around camp a little bit. I mean, the scenery here is just phenomenal. Check this out. I mean, truly incredible. This is going to be fun. You know, that camp setup, that's something I want to talk about for a second. And I don't know if you do this, but I'm guilty of it 100%. Is, you know, when our spouses, or what do you want to call them these days, partners or significant others, you know, when they're with us and we have a routine. It's almost like walking one foot in front of the other. It's something that it's just natural. And if you camp as much as me and her do, then it's just clockwork. It just happens. Now let's cut one of those legs off for a second and try to walk. That's kind of how it is setting up. And I take for granted, like most men, the help that their wives give us, during these setups. And we pride ourselves on the heavy lifting, doing the macho man stuff, but it's the little things that you really don't see behind the scenes that she's doing that makes it so much easier on you. Just like just now, I went through my whole setup, and then I went in, I was like, oh, there was so much more I had to do because she wasn't here. And I'm not being sappy or nothing, I'm just saying that it's one of those little things that if you do think that you do it all and they don't do anything, then take your camper out by yourself and see what you're missing. And to be honest, this is actually the first time I've taken this camper out 100% by myself. So I know what I'm missing. Other than that, I'm gonna go look around. Well, those are nice. I hear a river right down here. I'm gonna go see what that's about. Just that sound is just so calming. You can sleep so good when you have your windows open and you can hear that at night. I could literally sit here all day long. So I just spent about 30 minutes just sitting by that river, and man, was it relaxing. The funny thing is, this is just my experience and my opinion, but I can get closer to my Creator sitting right by that river than I have ever gotten sitting in a pew. All right, well, that's enough of that. I'm gonna keep looking around a little bit. Well, I know one thing for certain, I'm not gonna do anything fancy with this camping trip. With her not being here, there was no reason to bring a bunch of food. So all I have is deer camp food. I lived on it for years. It ain't gonna hurt me. The fire threat's real high, so we're not gonna have a fire. And I'm not even gonna cook out on the biolight. I don't have cell service. I don't have any ways to communicate with anybody. So it's just me, the camper, and Mother Nature this weekend. Well, this is pretty strange. And normally, I'd pick that up and put it in a trash sack. Because after all, that's my motto, leave it better than you found it. But I don't have any gloves with me right now, and that looks like somebody's pair of dirty underwear. I got some gloves back at camp. I'll get back over here and get it. I've been wanting to get to this campground for a while, and across the road is where all the tent camping is, and it's really hard to get away from the traffic noise here because the campground is just right next to the road. Looks like somebody was having a party and their balloon got away from them. But in the end, so far so good. It's a beautiful place. Right next to that river you just saw. Yeah, this place is pretty cool. There's a big patch of green up here I want to go look at, see what it is. Oh, man, I can tell you, 11,000 feet going up these little hills. Whew. The stairs at work does not compare to this. Huh. I honestly don't know what that is. If y'all know what that is, just drop me a comment below. I'm guessing it's probably something for the invasive beetle that kills these trees, but I don't know. I may be wrong. Yeah, let me know. You know, I may be paranoid from that last bear encounter I had in this video right here. But that looks like a bear tore into that dead log to get some beetles out of that. At least that's to me. And that just that just might be me being paranoid. Well, I told you it wasn't going to be anything special. Cold at that. You know, some people, they just heat the can up right in the fire and eat it like that. I've done it, but can't start a fire. And I need to save my propane. I got a couple of cold nights ahead of me. Speaking of night, I got kind of a late start today and got here a little bit later than I normally do. So the day's getting pretty long in the tooth, and I'm gonna eat this, probably get in there and start editing this video a little bit. You know, the temperature says it's 60 right now, but we got a wind coming off these mountains and a little bit more chilly than that. It feels like it's about mid-50s. So it's pretty much long sleeve weather for me. But it could be worse. I've been talking to the wife down in Texas for the last couple of weeks. It's been 104 to 107, and I am not looking forward to that. So that's another reason why I decided to come up here and brave the cold. Oh, I got a new way I want to show you how I'm going to make coffee. I think you're going to like it. So hang with me. I'll see you in the morning. Well, good Saturday morning. Thanks for joining me for Coffee with the Old Man. You know, I had every intention of showcasing this new coffee maker that I have that sits on top of the stove. But instead, I ended up having to make coffee like I normally do with this jet boil and this French press. Well, and I'll tell you the reason why. Even though it was on the list, and even though it was sitting right there for me to load, I did not grab my propane bottle. I knew I was running low in the camper, and I've only changed this bottle twice in the 2.5 years we've owned this camper. And no, I don't do a lot of deep winter camping. There's just no reason to sit in the camper all day long when it's negative degrees outside. So if you missed it yesterday, this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about yesterday with your significant other having their own list and their own things to do. And no, her list did not include the propane bottle. That's my list. But her list has remind me to get everything on my list. So in the end, I'm still going to blame her for not being here to tell me to pack the propane bottle. Someone's got to be blamed, right? You know, that's a joke. It's kind of like my dad blaming my mom for buying too sharp of toenail clippers and it cut his toe. I'm going to get a refill. So in the end, it's cold. It's 34 degrees, and this is August 2nd. We're supposed to have some showers coming in later this evening. I don't know when, because another item that was on my list to pack was my weather radio. In the end, there's nobody to blame but myself, and it's the fact that I was in a hurry really, I guess, magnitude the situation. I got a lot later start than what I normally do, and I needed to get up here before Friday's traffic got just too bad, and they were talking about chances of rain. I wanted to get set up before the rain hit. So I just did a smash and grab and threw the camper on the truck and went over the storage unit and got as much stuff as I could out of here and threw some more stuff in and just plumb forgot the key elements. We just hadn't been able to do any camping in a while, and I sure did miss it. And this is the last weekend I'll be able to go for the next probably 3 weeks, and I just wanted to take advantage of it while I could. But all in all, I stayed pretty warm last night, and I brought extra blankets. Go figure. I brought that, but not the propane. I think the plan is today I'm going to let it warm up a little bit, and I don't know, I may go on that long walk we talked about. It's pretty much like a 5.5 mile in and out from this spot. You know, the trailhead just up the road about, I don't know, a quarter mile, half mile, something like that. And I was going to bring my bike, but I knew that there weren't going to be very many bike trails. Plus, I didn't want to ride around in 30-degree weather, and because I'm sure I would have forgotten my gloves or something. There's just no reason to bring the bike to. Well, I'm not going to hit the trail until it hits about 40 degrees, so we'll see what happens. I got a good book I can read until then. All right, well, I'll see you on the trail. Man, I ain't playing. That's some hard walking right there. Straight uphill, over 11,000 feet. My goodness. All right, we're good to go. So this is one of the busier trails I've been on in a while. Man, there is a ton of people here, but you can't blame them. I mean, look at this. You know, I'm just going real slow and steady because at my age, I have nothing to prove. I have people passing me right and left, and that's okay, because the way I look at it is even just one step is more than a lot of people can do or even do. And I feel grateful to be in this area, being able to do this. Well, I ain't no hurry, and I got all day. It rained on me a little bit. I had to get underneath the tree and keep my pack from getting wet. And I didn't want to be 37 degrees and wet out here, that's for sure. But if I sit still too long, I get cold. So I'm gonna keep moving. That's just awesome, isn't it? Wow. I really don't even need to go any further, but I am, but just wow. I don't know if it's because I'm fat and out of shape or it's a high elevation, but my heart hurts. Whew. You know what's funny is yesterday when I was using binoculars looking up here at these mountain goats, I was looking at right where I'm at. Check this out. You know, I understand I've been in Colorado for 2.5 years. I still can't get over the fact that there's snow on the ground on August 2nd. Well, I made it. I don't know where, but I made it to the first lake. The second lake is up over that hill. I don't know. I mean, I'm still living. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy the spoils of my labor for just a minute, then I'll make the decision to keep going or turn around and go back. This is a long way back. I mean, My goodness, what a great hike. Challenging for sure, especially someone with my size and abilities. Just got finished having a little bit of protein lunch and a little brownie, and I think I'm done, man. That was a good hike. Now it's all downhill from here. Man, what an awesome adventure though. I highly recommend this one. I mean, this is not something that's hidden, that's for sure, as many people as up here. And you got to get here early to get a parking spot, unless you do what I did and camp out down there, then walk all the way up the road. But anyway, man, I'll see you at the bottom. You know, I'm all for having a gentle shower, but it's hailing on me. And of course, my raincoat is back at the camper. We're gonna find some shelter and wait this out. Well, that's that. I did it. Made it back. It was kind of funny. I found a guy that in the same industry as me, as far as work goes, that's worked with the same people I've worked for and with for years, from the same town. You know, it's just amazing to run across somebody like that on the top of a mountain in Colorado. And we knew all the same people, you know, for all the years of being in the industry. So it made it a little bit more enjoyable than just doing it by myself. Plus, I was really going to stop at that first lake, and he was there to keep me going, you might say, and it was fun. But even though it was a very busy trail, and some of them places are very narrow, and there's really no place to get over and let the people pass, so you're having to lay up against rocks while they, you know, pass around you. And yeah, it was something. It was well worth it, let's put it that way. And it was more strenuous, I think, coming down than going up. And I ended up having to stop about halfway and put knee braces on, and you know, them old knees just don't do too good coming back down the hill. And but that's the price we pay for not taking care of ourselves when we're young. But you can't tell us anything when we're that young. We have to experience it on our own. And in the end, I've done everything I needed to do here at this campground. I mean, it's beautiful, but I am out of propane and I'm out of coffee. I thought I had more than what I actually did. I had enough for this morning, and that was all. Really, the only thing keeping me here is just the serenity of it all. But I may stay. I may get a nap and see how I feel after that. It was funny, my daughter bought me this shirt for Father's Day, and you wouldn't believe how many comments I got on the trail about an amen and everybody should have that shirt. It was kind of cool. But I think I got the length I need for this video, 25-30 minutes. So this might be a wrap. And if you were wondering, it did rain in hell for, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, but other than that, it wasn't that bad. All it did was just make the rocks slick and make it where we had to go a little bit easier coming down than what we normally would. But again, this is Guanella Pass, or Guanella Pass, however you want to pronounce it, and it's well worth it. We were at 12.16, and that was the highest I got, and it was just awesome. If it wasn't for that oxygen, I don't know if I could have done it, but it was sure some good exercise. So always remember, leave it better than you found it. So if I don't see you on the trail, I'll see you down the road.